Let's start discussion on very important topic, and it will be the future if you understand the quantum computing. So how the business analyst will involve in the quantum computing? What are the BA will need to understand in the field of quantum computing? So like just a classical computers which we are now currently working, so that will get translate, and in the future we will working on the quantum computing. So there is no binary language. It's like 0 1. It's the and logic. All these things we include in the quantum computing. So breaking down the complex to deliver the values of quantum computing. So let's start how the BA role will involve in the quantum computing and what is the quantum computing. So let's start, guys. It is a very important topic, and it's the very hard topic in all over the industry, like banking industry, retail industry, IT industry. Everywhere is in the medical, pharmaceutical industry, medical industry. So let's start discussion on the very hot topic and the very, the future growth topic. So let's the introduction to clears in the the role of business analyst in the quantum computing. So what is a business analyst? As we know, the business analyst is a bridge between the business need and the technical solutions. So there is the technical solution we are building for the classical computers. So but the business analyst will increase the side of the quantum computing technical solutions, how that problem will solve by the quantum computing. So business requirement or the business need with the technical solution or the quantum computing technical solution we add. The responsible for gathering the requirement, analyze the data, and ensuring the project deliver value. So these are the business analysts who gather requirement, analyze requirement, prepare the documents to do the business requirement document, functional specification document, technical document, change request document, requirement reciprocity matrix, gap analysis, work breakdown structure, RACI matrix. These document prepared by the business analyst. But in quantum computing, these documents are totally transact into the quantum computing oriented agile development methodology will get changed. So what is a quantum computing? A revolutionary technology that leverages a quantum mechanism to solve the complex problem that classical computers cannot be able to solve, or the complex problem which, if we suppose the problem is to use the algorithms to break the passwords, so it will take 3 to 4 months to break such password. But if you use the quantum technique and apply the quantum techniques on that to breaking the password, you will able to break this password within a 3 seconds. How that the importance of the quantum computing. So use a quiet process and massive amount of data in parallel. So quantum techniques, the quantum algorithms are understanding are important, how the quantum mechanics is work. So that's the functional way the business analyst will understand in the futures. So the let's differentiate between the BS traditional and the quantum role. So let's differentiate. So traditional BA, the business analyst in the traditional way will focus on optimizing the existing process and implementing the conventional software solutions. He work on the existing process and need to be process how look like, and deal with well-defined classical data and the linear logic. And these the traditional BA mostly work in the finance, logistic, retail, IT organizations to grow their business and to develop the software for the classical computers. But in a quantum computing BA, so identify the quantum ready business problems, identify the problems in the market that will these problems are solved by the quantum techniques, how the quantum technique will analyze, how the quantum algorithms will help to solve these business problems and quickly and faster and most effective and most efficient way. Work with new class of algorithms like optimizations, simulations, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So he will work get the chance to work with the new class of algorithms, and it is in the future perspective algorithms, and navigate the highly technical and experimental and rapidly evolving landscape. So continuously upgrade the skills, technical skills, experimental skills, or the data analysis skill, understand the data structure, data pattern. So that's the important for the quantum role as a business analyst. So key responsibilities of the quantum BA. What are the key roles and responsibilities that should have the quantum business analyst? And if you want to get the good salary or the good skill set or get the job in the new industry or the new era of the world and the higher salary brackets, so you should be understand the quantum side, and the you should be focused on the quantum BA, how you can leverage the quantum technique to solve the business problem like banking problem, the health insurance, health care problem, or the hospitalized problem, the retail problem, in that area, or the government and rules and regulations problem, which solve this problem by the quantum technique. So first of all, let's discuss the key is the key stages and what are the roles and responsibilities of business analyst on that. So first one is a problem identification, second one is a feasibility analysis, it's an important, and the stakeholder translation and use case development and ethical and risk assessment. So let's discuss on the problem identification. So business analyst will do finding the real world business problem that are interactable and classical computer but solve with the quantum methods. So finding out the problem, the business problems and which are not able to solve by the classical computers, and it is a very complex and very time consuming technique with the classical computer to solve these problems, but the BA will think beyond that and use the quantum technique or the quantum method to solve this problem way most effective, most faster, and most the appropriate solution or the optimized way for the business. And the feasibility study, it's an important thing, I already told you, assigning if the problem is suitable for the quantum solution or not. Is that problem are suitable, or we able after applying the resource or the method, is that problem is solved by the quantum techniques, is it feasible, or considering the current hardware limitation and the quantum advantage, when the quantum computer is better, faster than the classical computer, and it has the highly securitable things. So think on that perspective, is this problem are feasible to solve by the quantum techniques, and how much the cost required to to build that, so provide the solution of that problem for the quantum technique or the classical computers, which are the optimum way and more effective way. Then the stakeholder translating, so acting as a translator between the business leader who need a return on the investment, who provide the needle, and the quantum physicians, developer who speak in terms of the qubits and the superposition. These are the techniques. Qubits and superpositions are the technique that are used in the quantum methodologies or the quantum techniques. So there are the roles: physicians, the developer, quantum physicians, to interact with them, understand their the development life cycle, what technology tools they are using to develop, and is that the business owners or the business need who are investing in the quantum technology, what are their the requirements, what are the business requirement, is that requirement we are converting into the quantum solution way requirement, so that the business requirement will developed by the technical, and that the problems can solve by the quantum technique. So that translate, and that level understanding the business analyst should have. Then the use case development, it's an most important. After gathering requirement, then start to develop the use case, how the use case, how the process will happen, how the the end user will interact with the system, and their problem or their the goal, how the quantum techniques can satisfy, and how fast, how the feasible that with the quantum technique. So building and complying the business cases and roadmap for the few for the quantum technology adoption, how we are going to adopt the quantum technology, solve the problem, how we are interacting with the classical computers with the quantum computers, and the ethical and the risk assessment. Then evolving with implication of quantum technology, and especially in the cyber security. So with using the quantum technology, we are increase the cyber security, because there are the financial crime will happen towards the cyber security, to someone stolen the data and use that, misuse that data. So that's why the ethical and risk assessment is there, and the quantum post quantum cryptography will happen. So let's discuss on the next slide, that is the essential skill for a quantum BA. So what are the essential skill if you have? be a quantum business analyst. So you should have the core business analyst skills as an advantage. You should be understand what are the roles and responsibilities in the business analyst. You should understand the domain knowledge or the domain way. So the expectational communication, it's absolutely, you should be a great communicator with the business team or the quantum team or the compliance team or the solution team or the IT team, and the explain the and the ability to explain the complex abstract concept to the non-technical and the technical stakeholder. Understand the, the knowledge level of the stakeholder. It is a technical stakeholder or the non-technical stakeholder, and on that point you should communicate with the problem to that stakeholder. It is a technical or non-technical stakeholder, and understand the jargons in the business or the quantum thing or the quantum process or the AI ML process. So let's strategic thinking, identifying the long-term opportunities and competitive advantage. He should have the strategic thinking. He should have the 360-degree way thinking to identify the long-term opportunities, to find the current or the future's problem in the system, and how the quantum technique or the quantum mechanism are able to solve these problems with the future predictions, and how the quantum techniques are most essential for these things. And data literacy, a deep understanding of data structure, big data and data analytics. So the BA should be a data way thinking. How, what are the data telling, what are the data wants to solution. So how the data literacy and the data things we are applying in the quantum techniques to solve the business problems and give the most effective way. So the quantum knowledge, quantum specific knowledge. Yeah, you should have the quantum specific knowledge or the quantum domain knowledge. So understanding the quantum principles. What are the quantum principles are in there, the quantum techniques. So understand that principle and grasp of the concept like superposition, entanglement, and the decohersive. These are the concepts that are in the quantum technique. So understand these concepts in the functional way or the little bit the technical way, how that work and how that concept are I am using to solve my business problem, my achieve my business scope. And what are that the business the quantum concept I am use consider as a in scope functionality and out scope functionality of my business problem or of my business requirement document in my functional specification document. So that level of thinking, so business analyst should have. And then the quantum algorithms, familiarity with the key algorithms that are built in the quantum algorithms and the quantum techniques. So shores or the QA OA techniques. So that algorithm, what the algorithm will fit what my business problem, in which my business problem, and there is the what are the applications of that the algorithms, what are the problem I am going to solve from these algorithms. So that level of the understanding we should have related to the quantum algorithm and the hybrid computing. So business analyst should able to work on the classical computing and the quantum computing, understand there the computers how they work, and understand how the combining classical and quantum computers will solve the business problems or the real world problems, and how the pharmaceutical problem or the hospital problem we are going to solve with using the quantum computing. And we use the AIML techniques with the grow of the business. Then let's discuss on the quantum computing business applications. What are the applications in the real world applications? How the quantum computing and what are the future of the quantum computing in that the business application. So first one is a financial modeling. It's a very important modeling. So there is how we are implementing and optimizing the investment portfolio by using the quantum techniques or the quantum algorithms. So understand that way how to manage the risks in the financial problem or the transaction monitoring system or the market risks or the credit risks or the banking risks, how manage this risk with how the technological risks, how the resource risk we manage with using the quantum computing technique. So that level of financial modeling should have and detect the fraud with pre-preceding speed. And it will be the quantum computing will help us to do the real time analyze the frauds, and it is a very faster technique. And drug discovery and material science, use the applications of quantum computing in the drug discovery and the material science. So simulating molecular interactions to accelerate the development of new drug and material. So that's the help of the quantum computing. What are the composites or the components that new drug have, how the body work after provide that drug to the patient. So that level of understanding will provided by the quantum computing, or it is not suitable or the suitable, that's all things done by. And then the logistic and the supply chain. So there is continuously retail industry or the supermarket industry are growing day by day. So you can see the Zomato, Swiggy, Zepto, Flipkart, 1 minute Flipkart, or the Amazon within 10 minutes. These are the application growing day by day. But how they know what are the what are the products we are storing at which location, what are the product and services at which location, what are the buying capacity of that area, what the product we need to show on the home screen at the top of level. So what the algorithms, what are the logic they are using to sell the products to the customers and give the better user experience with that product and that screen, home screen. So that they are using the AIML technique or the quantum computing technique to optimizing the complex routing, scheduling, the inventory management, and the real time. So these are the techniques they are using to solve these problems. And then the artificial intelligence that will accelerate the machine learning and pattern for recognize for the powerful AI system. So where the computer computing and the artificial intelligence get together to solve the accelerate the user experience and the machine learning pattern recognition for more the powerful AI system. That system will solve the business problem with real time. So that's the importance of the quantum computing. And the business analyst should understand that the quantum computing how the business problems, or how that the domain problem, or how that the ecosystem problem, entire ecosystem of that domain which we are solve, or where we are adding the quantum computing to increase the process and get the better experience for the user, or the get the better or the security better security for the financial institution or the bank or the insurance companies. So how the future outlook will look like, so how the future the involved in the business analyst role. The role of the quantum BA is expected to grow as a technology matters, and the salary of the quantum computing business analyst will increasing. And it will grow the higher pay, and new fintech companies, new organization are involving and want to work in the quantum computing side. And huge amount are bank will now started investment in the quantum computing. And Google, Meta, like Facebook, or the AWS, Amazon Web Services, or the Meta, they are already started to invest their huge amount in the quantum computing. And the future might look like in the quantum computing side. So early adoption of quantum computing is expected to unlock the significant value in key industries. And the industry revolution will happen after the quantum computing implementation in the market. And continuous education and upskilling in both the business and quantum principles will be the crucial for the success of the quantum business analyst role. So you should be think understand the quantum businesses and the quantum principles that are in there the market and new principles. So that's the important, and that will be the future look like. So guys, it's and the last slide, the questions and answers. So if you like my videos and my efforts, please like and subscribe my channel, so that will motivate me to create more such videos for you. And I want to you should be the ready for the industry and upskill yourself with understanding the new technology or new skills and get the higher salary from your role. So that's the my motive. So thank you so much for listening this lecture, guys. Thanks. That will